and potential energy is the energy due to distance between the object and the surface of the earth.
Thanks, amazing. Thanks. Then we talked about mechanical energy. Okay, we said what is mechanical energy. Abdullah Abdulaziz. Abdullah Abdulaziz. What is mechanical energy, Abdullah?
The sum of kinetic and potential.
Yes, the sum of potential and kinetic energy. Excellent, Abdulaziz. Thanks. Abdulaziz. Okay, then we talked about after that about thermal energy. Thermal energy. Who can remind us what is thermal energy? Thermal energy. Abdulrahman Sultan. What is thermal energy?
Is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy.
Yes, it is the same also like mechanical, but this for particles or object thermal.
For particles.
Yes, and mechanical for
For objects.
for object. Excellent, Abdulrahman. Excellent, thanks. Then we talked about temperature. You can remind us what is temperature? What is temperature? You can remind us what is temperature? Okay, Hassan.
Yes, mister. Temperature represents the average kinetic energy in the particles.
Yes, average kinetic energy of the particles. Excellent, Hassan. And we said if we have a solid and a liquid at the same temperature, like ice and water, uh, how they are different and how they are the same. Uh, they have the same thermal energy or different, or they have different temperature or the same. Mazen?
Teacher, they have the same thermal energy but different temperature because
No,
in the
wait,
liquid.
wait. Revise what you said again. Concentrate. Have the same.
Sorry, the same temperature.
Yes, the same temperature. The same temperature. Have the same
Because
temperature.
both of them are moving. Am I correct?
Just wait. I'm not sure. Okay. So they have the same. They have what? The same
They have
temperature.
the same temperature because both of them the particles are moving. Am I correct?
Yes, because they have the same average kinetic energy, but they have different
Thermal energy.
thermal energy. Why they have different thermal energy?
Because because the liquid they have distance between particles.
Okay, or general, they have different potential energy. They have different potential energies.
Energy.
Okay. So here in this part, you can see temperature and thermal energy are related. Okay, how they are related? Because temperature is average kinetic energy, and also thermal energy has two parts. The first part, kinetic energy. Okay, so they are related. The kinetic energy relate temperature and thermal energy. But why they are different? Because they have different potential energies. Okay, so the particles that make up liquid and solid water, ice or liquid water, have different potential energies. Therefore different thermal energies. Okay, even if they have the same temperature. Okay, today inshallah we'll talk about thermometers. Okay, measuring temperature. How can we measure temperature? Here he started you with this question. How can we measure temperature? Measuring temperature. How can we measure temperature? Okay. So this is a question How can you measure temperature? I think, who can answer this question? How can you measure temperature? Abdul Rahim Khalil Sharafuddin. Abdul Rahim Khalil Sharafuddin. How can you measure temperature, Abdul Rahim? Abdul Rahim.
Yes.
How can you measure temperature? Temperature during coronavirus, they're using what, a tool to measure temperature. What is the name of this tool? In hospitals, at home. How can we measure temperature?
By the thermometer?
Yes, thermometer or thermometer. Yes, excellent. Excellent. So you can use thermometers, okay, to measure what? To measure temperature. You can highlight these these three lines. Okay, how can you measure temperature? You can use thermometers to measure what? Temperature. Okay. Inshallah, he is talking here about two types of thermometer. Two types of thermometer. This is the first type, which we call a bulb thermometer. The first one is bulb thermometer, and the second one is, its name is electronic thermometer. Electronic thermometer. So here we'll study two types of thermometers. The first type, which we call bulb thermometer. The second type, we call it what? Electronic thermometer. The one you saw in during coronavirus, in mall, in any shopping place, the one who is holding a device in his hand, and it will point it towards your arm or your head. Okay, it is infrared. It is infrared. Okay, infrared thermometer. Okay, but we are not going to study it here. Okay, so we have many kind of thermometers, but here also only we'll study bulb thermometer and electronic thermometer. As a start, as we used to, we can watch a video about thermometers.
Measurement of temperature. It is possible to identify whether the object is hot or cold with the help of temperature. How do we measure temperature? In hospitals, you might have seen doctors using a device for measuring temperature. What is it? It is a thermometer. The type of thermometer which is used to measure temperature of our body is called a clinical thermometer. Let's understand its structure. It is a long narrow tube with same thickness throughout the length. On one side of this tube, there is a bulb which contains mercury. For reading the temperature, there is a scale printed on thermometer. The normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius. However, it can vary between 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Therefore, the clinical thermometer has reading from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Here, you must have understood that 35 and 42 are numbers and degrees Celsius is a unit of temperature. There is a very fine tube which originates from the bulb. It is called capillary tube. With rise in temperature, mercury expands in this tube. The capillary tube is bent near the bulb. It prevents mercury from flowing back into the bulb immediately. It gives more time to read the temperature. To get more correct reading, there are some divisions between two consecutive numbers. If there are 10 divisions, then each division signifies 1 by 10, that is equal to 0.1 degree Celsius temperature. And if there are 5 divisions, then each division suggests 1 by 5, that is equal to 0.2 degree Celsius temperature. How to use a thermometer? Before using thermometer, you should wash it with some antiseptic solution. Also, give some jerks to it so as to bring the mercury level falls below 35 degrees Celsius. Now, Place the bulb of thermometer under your tongue. Keep it as it is for 1 minute and let the mercury expand in the tube. Now, take the thermometer out and find out the reading shown by the mercury. Just now you have identified your body temperature. Here is a sample value which is showing 37 degrees Celsius and 0.4 degrees Celsius, that is 37.4 degrees Celsius. For temperature measurement, there are units other than Celsius, such as Kelvin and Fahrenheit. Their scales also vary from that of Celsius scale. Always remember, never use a clinical thermometer for measuring the temperature of hot objects other than human body. It may break. Here we complete this topic. For more such videos, visit here we
Okay, guys. So here she talked about thermometer and how does it work. Okay. So here, this is the bulb thermometer we are talking about. The bulb thermometer. Okay. Here you can find a glass, a tube from glass. This one is a tube from glass. Okay. This tube is connected to a bulb. Okay. This bulb is filled with alcohol. It's filled with what? Alcohol or mercury. Okay. In general, we use a liquid that is easily affected by heat. Is easily affected by heat. Okay. So this bulb is made from metal, so it can conduct heat very well. Okay. Inside the metal bulb, we put inside what? The alcohol or the mercury. When you put this one, if you want to measure temperature of a patient, or if you put it the thermometer in a hot or a cold water, if you put it in a hot water, the alcohol inside will expand. Will what? Expand. You talked before that liquids, solids, and gases expand by heating and contract by cooling. How does it expand? It will move up. It will move up. As the temperature rises, the alcohol goes up. As temperature decreases, alcohol goes down. Okay, and from the length of the alcohol, you can have the reading. Okay, here it is what graduated means, it has number, graduated with numbers. Okay, so you can measure what, or you can take the reading. Okay, we can read all of these details here. So here is the first kind is a what? A bulb thermometer. Okay, but I want someone to read. Who wants to read, the shabab? Who wants to read? Okay, Ahmed al-Malki.
A bulb thermometer is a glass tube connected to a bulb that contains a
So
liquid
Ahmed,
such as
can
alcohol.
you read from the beginning? Measuring
In
temperature.
the beginning,
Yes.
how can you measure temperature? It would be impossible to measure the kinetic energy of individual particles and then calculate their average kinetic energy to determine the temperature. Instead, you can use thermometers such as the ones in Figure 4 to measure temperature.
Continue.
A common type of thermometer is a bulb thermometer. A bulb thermometer is a glass tube connected to a bulb that contains liquid such as alcohol. When the temperature of the alcohol increases, the alcohol expands and rises in the glass tube. When the temperature of the alcohol decreases, the alcohol contracts back into the tube. The height of the alcohol in the tube indicates the temperature.
Yes. So as we said, when you put the thermometer in hot water, what happens when the temperature of the alcohol increases? The metal pulp will conduct or move heat to the alcohol. So as the temperature of the alcohol increases, the alcohol expands, okay, and rises in the glass tube. And the opposite will happen when the temperature of the alcohol decreases. The alcohol contracts, okay, contracts back into the pulp. Okay, So how can you take the reading? Okay, from the height. The height of the alcohol in the tube indicates what? Indicates the temperature. If it stop at 35, so the temperature is 35. It stop at 37, 40. So this is what? This is the height. Tells you the temperature. Okay. The other kind, I want someone to read the other kind of thermometer. Another one to read the other kind of thermometer. Raise your hand, Shabab. Wants to read? Okay, Sam.
Tested.
Yes, read Sam.
From where?
From there are other types.
There are other types of thermometers too, such as an electronic thermometer. This thermometer measures changes in the resistance of an electric circuit and converts this measurement to a temperature.
Yes. So the other kind of thermometer is electronic thermometer. Electronic. You may have this digital thermometer. You can also call it digital thermometer because it has a screen. It gives you the reading on a screen. Okay, a very small screen, give you 35, 37, 40, and like this one. How does it work? Okay, any electric circuit, okay, or the electric current has three variables. It has a variable called resistance, or three factors, if you can say three factors, resistance and current intensity and the voltage. Okay, this thermometer, its working idea depends on the resistance. The thermometer measures it changes in the resistance of an electric circuit. Okay, why resistance? Because when the heat it changes, the resistance of material it changes. Okay, so there is a relation between a change in thermal energy or a change in heat and a change in resistance. So if we have a change in heat, we'll have a change in resistance. So this is the working idea. Okay, so this thermometer measures changes in the resistance of an electric circuit and converts this measurement to temperature. It means here to numbers you can see on the screen. Okay, so this is the working idea of digital electronic thermometer. It depends on the resistance. Okay, so I hope these two kinds of thermometers are clear. Now I want someone to explain the working idea of a pulp thermometer. Pulp thermometer. Who can explain how does a pulp thermometer work? Mazen,
Yes, teacher.
can you explain how does a pulp thermometer work?
Okay. In the bulb thermometer, we have a glass tube filled with alcohol or mercury.
Yes,
So
excellent.
when temperature increase,
Mm,
the mercury expand, and
excellent.
when the temperature decrease, the mercury goes down.
Contract. So we have here
Contract,
the word expands,
contract,
and the other word is opposite is what contracts.
contract.
Okay. When it expands, it what rises up in the glass. When it contracts, it moves back into
The
the
bulb.
pulp. And from the height, we can see the number it stop at. Okay. Thanks, Ahmed. Another one to explain the electronic thermometer. Electronic thermometer. Ayman Ishaq. Ayman.
Yes,
Can you explain, please, electronic thermometer or the digital thermometer?
it
How does it work? Mm,
measures the resistance or uh,
yes, of
and
an. Mm,
and converts this measurement to temperature.
yes, so it measures and depends on what the resistance of an electric what circuit and converts this measurement into temperature. Okay, thanks. Who went out يا شباب? There is someone went out of the class. Okay. Because I'm going now to take attendance. Okay. Okay, now we can watch another video about this one.
The thermometer. Are you ready? This is a thermometer. If you put it over something hot, like fire or a stove, the temperature goes up to 20 degrees Celsius. For example, are you reading the thermometer? Are you ready? This is a thermometer. If you put it over something hot, like fire or a stove, the temperature goes up to 20 degrees Celsius. For example, it can go anywhere, but it will go up. Wow, look! The longer you leave it on the fire, it gets hotter and hotter. The thermometer increases the longer it's on the heat. Look at it go higher. Oh my goodness, so very hot. 90 degrees Celsius. Is it amazing? Is it true? Other thing that you can do with a thermometer is stick it in cold things, like ice or cold water, and watch the red part go down. 65 degrees Celsius. The longer it's in the cold temperature, the colder it will get. 35 degrees Celsius. Do you understand? What happens is it measures the temperature and shows you with a red line. And back down to 0 degrees Celsius. Thermometers are amazing. Go find one and learn to use it today. Measurement of temperature. It is possible to identify whether the object is hot or cold with the help of temperature. How do we measure temperature? In hospitals, you might have seen doctors using a device for measuring temperature. What is it? It is a thermometer. The type of thermometer which is used to measure temperature of our body is called a clinical thermometer. Let's understand its structure. It is a long narrow tube with same thickness throughout the length. On one side of this tube, there is a bulb which contains mercury. For reading the temperature, there is a scale printed on thermometer. The normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius. However, it can vary between 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Therefore, the clinical thermometer has reading from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Here, you must have understood that 35 and 42 are numbers and degrees Celsius is a unit of temperature. There is a very fine tube which originates from the bulb. It is called capillary tube. With rise in temperature, mercury expands in this tube. The capillary tube is bent near the bulb. It prevents mercury from flowing back into the bulb immediately. It gives more time to read the temperature. To get more correct reading, There are some divisions between two consecutive numbers. If there are 10 divisions, then each division signifies 1 by 10, that is equal to 0.1 degree Celsius temperature. And if there are 5 divisions, then each division suggests 1 by 5, that is equal to 0.2 degree Celsius temperature. How to use a thermometer? Before using thermometer, you should wash it with some antiseptic solution. Also, give some jerks to it so as to bring the mercury level falls below 35 degrees Celsius. Now, place the bulb of thermometer under your tongue. Keep it as it is for 1 minute and let the mercury expand in the tube. Now, take the thermometer out and find out the reading shown by the mercury. Just now you have identified your body temperature. Here is a sample value which is showing 37 degrees Celsius and 0.4 degrees Celsius, that is 37.4 degrees Celsius. For temperature measurement, there are units other than Celsius, such as Kelvin and Fahrenheit. Their scales also vary from that of Celsius scale. Always remember, never use a clinical thermometer for measuring the temperature of hot objects other than human body. It may break. Here we complete this topic. For more such videos, visit the
I see guys raising your hands. Okay, Sam. Sam.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, do you have a question?
No, no.
Okay, don't forget to lower your hand also. Okay,
Okay.
Mazen, you have a question or you forget to? Okay, can talk, Mazen.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes, Mazen, you can ask.
Teacher, until now I didn't understand how the electronic thermometer works.
Okay. You know when you heat an object, okay,
Okay.
there is when the current pass through a metal wire, okay.
With the heat?
Yes, yes. So if we have a metal wire, okay,
Hmm.
if we pass a current through it, okay, there is some wires that can produce heat. You know the old light bulb.
Yes.
It has a wire inside. When the current pass through, this wire gets hot and release what light. Okay. Also, some heaters like kettle. Okay, the filament inside it is have high resistance, so the current when pass, there is, you can say, a fight inside the metal wire, so a huge amount of heat is produced. Okay, so this because some metals have a resistance to electric current. Resistance means it wants to block the current from passing through it. Okay, so this is a property we call resistance. We call it what? Resistance. Okay. If we change the temperature of the metal, the resistance change. Again, if we change the temperature of the metal, its resistance what? It change. Yeah, if we have a metal, it has a high resistance. If we heat it up, its resistance what? Decreases. Its resistance what? Decreases. So more current or electric current can pass through it. It's from physics you will take next year, inshallah, or maybe in the third year of secondary stage. Okay. So if we heat a metal, the resistance decreases, so more current to pass through the wire. Okay. So it depends on the relation between heat and resistance. Heat and resistance. Okay. So when you put the electronic, it's like this thermometer. It has the same shape. It has also a metal bulb. This metal bulb, it's resistant to change when we put in different environment of heat. Okay, understand now? And there is a digital circuit inside. It reads the change in resistance and converts it to degrees or numbers, or which we say temperature. So we are the working idea of all thermometers that we search for a property that will change with a change in heat. Okay, for liquids, the liquids expand and contract by changing in heat. The length of the liquid will expand when we heat it up, and it will contract or decrease, okay, when we cool it. This is a property of liquid. So we use this property that liquids expand and contract with heat. Also, when we use the metal, they used what? That the metals, its resistance changes with the change in heat. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. You will study them inshallah in more details. So now شباب, inshallah for tomorrow we have temperature scales. Okay, it's very easy. What is here very easy? The important thing here that we want to convert between temperature scales. So from now I hope you will revise your math skills. Okay. If you have an operation like this one, okay, so which operation you have to do first? You have to do between brackets first, then you can continue. So you have to revise these math skills. So because tomorrow inshallah we have a lot of problems like this one, I can show you like this one. Okay, we have a lot of problems. We want to convert between scales, from Celsius to Fahrenheit, okay, and from Fahrenheit to Celsius, okay. So inshallah, from now, try to prepare the rest of this lesson, okay. This part, or you need only this part, temperature scales, okay, and how to convert between different temperature scales. Here we have only one conversion from Fahrenheit to Celsius and from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, do you have any questions before we end our meeting? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? For Hassan Ismat, Hassan or Hassan, I don't know. Hassan or Hassan, what is your name? Hassan or Hassan? Hassan Ismat, Hassan Ismat, Hassan. Okay, Hassan, you entered the room in the last 7 minutes. Okay, so and now you are not replying on chat or with mic, so I consider you absent for this session. Okay, and this will be sent to your father or your parents. Okay, thanks guys. See you inshallah next week. Don't forget to prepare what I told you. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.